He's a very good foil for Iron Man type of characters, like technology-based characters, but also Doctor Strange magic-based characters. There was also a deleted scene from Avengers Infinity War where he briefly became the Sorcerer Supreme, and Doctor Strange briefly became what they call the Iron Mage, getting his Iron Man armor nanites. So they were already bumping up against the idea of doing a magic-based version of Tony Stark. There's also a version of Sorcerer Supreme, Tony Stark, in the comics too. So all the pieces are there, and it's just an opportunity for him to play a very different type of character, but also be an overarching villain. You go from being like the hero, the anchor being, so to speak, to make a Deadpool and Wolverine reference of the main 616 universe, to being the ultimate villain. Doesn't it make sense now why they've held off on doing Doctor Doom in the MCU for so long? Like, there have been so many deleted scenes, so many times that they almost did him. He was almost going to be in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Early on last year, when Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania underperformed at the box office, there was talk of turning Avengers 5 into something completely different and pivoting away from the Kang dynasty of it all, the Council of Kangs. I think Marvel assumed the general audiences just weren't as down for Kang as they expected the hardcore fans to be down for Kang. So at their story retreat later that year, they talked about pivoting to an overarching villain for the next Avengers movie being Doctor Doom. Because we have God Emperor Doom in Secret Wars from the comics, there was also the Doctor Doom teaser during Deadpool and Wolverine in all the trailers and in the movie. During the movie, when they first land on Battleworld, you see the Secret Wars comic book number 5 with Doctor Doom's face on the cover. So part of the idea is we thought that they were teasing that Doctor Doom would show up in some way. They didn't feature any Doctor Doom footage during the Fantastic Four teaser, and they're meant to take place in an alternate universe. Supposedly, a version of Doctor Doom is going to show up somewhere in that movie. What they could do, early theory, is they could introduce this Robert Downey version of Doctor Doom as that Doctor Doom, and then bring him to the MCU with that team eventually. Just as a way to make sense how Robert Downey Jr. comes back to the MCU, like he escapes the destruction of that universe with the Fantastic Four, because they're meant to be the main team of Fantastic Four in the MCU going forward after this.